And good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, the Confucian Lao Tzu once wrote, "The journey to 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Imagine this. You wake up each day with a single intention to bless those around you. This idea is incredibly powerful when we think about the power of the gentle art of blessing. In the beginning, it would definitely may require some willpower to overcome strong feelings and judgments. But as you persist, something magical happens. The power of blessing begins to dissolve judgment, leaving behind compassion and love. How's that sound? Now, consider the world we live in today. There's turmoil, there's conflict. But what if you could use the power of blessing to make a difference? What if instead of harboring anger and resentment toward those at the center of the conflict, you know who they are, we send them sincere blessings? Imagine sending a heartfelt blessing to world leaders, and in the moment, you then are no longer part of the conflict. You become a beacon of peace and love, bringing light to even the darkest situations. So, as we explore the gentle art of blessing, I invite you to open your hearts and minds, and let's take the first step and see how the power of blessing can transform our lives and the world around us. So I was introduced to this book by a dear friend of mine who spoke enthusiastically about it in her description and the book's content, and of course how it related to the heart math tools, which some of you know is near and dear to my heart. And I have to admit, I was skeptical. Another self-help book, another how-to book. So, and now I've read it twice, right? And as I delved into the book, I started to become aware that I really had already incorporated this practice into my daily routine with my own unique way of practicing blessings, with my heart math tools, or the heart math tools. What I noticed from practicing blessing personally in my own life is there was definitely a reduction in stress. I've used it to improve my sleep, and a reduction in feelings of helplessness regarding things happening in the world and people in my life. So blessings have actually filled me with a deeper sense of purpose. At a point in his career in international development, the author Pierre Prodervan was faced with a tough choice: to stay in his current job despite unethical conditions or quit. And he chose to resign, knowing those who created the situation actually expected him to leave. After quitting, he was consumed with resentment toward those who put him in this position. His thoughts were literally obsessed with this situation, with them, draining his peace and leaving him feeling victimized. Then, inspired by Jesus' teachings from Sermon on the Mount, something that simple, right? Bless them that curse you. He had a revelation. He needed to bless his former colleagues and what he described as persecutors. He began sincerely wishing them well in every aspect of their lives, with health, and joy, peace, and abundance, and relationships from the bottom of his heart. He discovered the ways to bless them were endless. This sincere act of blessing actually transformed his resentments into healing and peace. He discovered that the power of blessing comes from the heart and elevates and restores both the giver and the receiver. He describes blessing: to wish unconditionally for total, unrestricted good for others, acknowledging their inherent goodness and potential from the deepest wellspring of the innermost chamber of, guess what? One's heart. As he says, I only need to master my own heart. Now, blessings can impact our internal and our external reality, as the study of Dr. Emoto, some of you know of his water experiments. As you can see, so he exposed, for those who don't know, he exposed water bottles to various words and thoughts. He actually put them labeled on the outside of the bottles, the water bottles, the words, for example, and then he froze the water bottles. For example, he may put the words compassion, thank you, wisdom on the outside of a bottle, and he'd freeze it and put the ice crystals then under a microscope. The molecular structure of the crystals change based on the words or the labels he's used. For example, as you can see, the positive words, wisdom, compassion, thank you, or love, gratitude, form the beautiful symmetrical crystals on the top. And the negative words like heavy metal, I'll kill you, you fool, create a disorganized, unsymmetrical, kind of dark crystals. So now relating this to heart math, of course, this demonstrates how coherent consciousness, or words like love and gratitude and compassion, create harmony and symmetry in the water crystals, where incoherent consciousness, or words like hate, anger, heavy metal, you fool, create those disorganized, asymmetrical water crystals. Now, since the human body is 76%, did you know that? 76% water. I could be wrong, it might give or take some. Our thoughts can similarly shape our physical and emotional states, or our inner water crystals. Our bodies crystallize into shapes in response to the consciousness or thoughts we impose on them. So we are giant water bottles with consciousness on top. I like to think of it like it. We are cupcakes with frosting on top, like giant water bottles with consciousness on top. There's another researcher, her name is Veda Austin, and she researches the intelligence and consciousness of water. She uses a method called the crystallographic freeze technique. So she uses these techniques, here's one example, to study municipal tap water, and found that in its frozen state, the crystals were asymmetrical or disorganized, like the bottom. Then she allowed the water to melt, and she held the water up to her heart in an intentional, loving way, and then she refroze the water. And the crystalline structures were in the shape of ferns and hexagons. I don't have a picture of that for you today, but they're on the internet. This process changed the structure of the water, but it didn't change it chemically. The water had an emotional response to intense love, but not a structural response. So blessings will have an impact on our internal and our external states. Another story of a man in the book. He had a severe financial crisis, and he decided to bless the situation instead of succumbing to despair. I don't know about you, but I could easily succumb to despair. He blessed his finances, the economy, and everyone affected by the crisis. By focusing on blessing, he maintained a positive outlook and found creative solutions to his problem rather than constricting in fear. Eventually, his situation improved significantly, and it opened up new possibilities. Again, blessings affecting the internal and the external. So I know there probably are some challenges some people might experience to blessing, like judgmentalism, skepticism, forgetting to bless, and overcare. It's defined by Webster as excessive worry or anxiety. And the HeartMath Institute explains, next one, that overcare feels heavy, and it leads to burnout, fatigue, and apathy, where balanced care renews and energizes. So you might see this as care is the oil that lubricates our entire mental, emotional, and physical systems. So if we run our systems without balanced care, it's like running your car without oil. You get friction and breakdown. So I would say we strive for balanced care to benefit fully from the art of blessing. In another situation, Pradevan shares the story of a woman living in a rough neighborhood where there was frequent crime and violence. And she read the book, of course, and so she was inspired by the practice of blessing, and she began to bless her entire neighborhood daily, including the people involved in criminal activities. She blessed the streets, the houses, the individuals, wishing them peace, safety, and transformation. Gradually, the neighborhood began to change. Crime rates dropped, and a sense of community starting to develop. He also shares a personal crisis in his book that he experienced. It was a health crisis. It was a serious one. And again, rather than succumbing to fear and negativity, he chose to bless his body, the illness, seeing it as a messenger and an opportunity for deeper healing. He blessed his cells, he blessed his immune system, the doctors, the nurses caring for him, and through this practice, he experienced a profound sense of peace and resilience, and he attributes that to the significant recovery that he experienced. So the last 6 weeks, our Sunday talks have focused on 7 energy centers, or the chakras, as we climb the ladder to the new humanity. And this week is the 7th chakra. Oh, wait a minute. Let me backtrack a little bit. I just wanted to show you that this is what happens to our immune systems when we're focusing. For example, if we focus on anger, as you see in the red line, this is what happens to our immune system. It's a drastic drop in immune system. If we focus on care or compassion, look what happens in the blue line to our immune system. Drastically increase our immune system. Thank you, Freddie. Okay. The 7th chakra, or the crown chakra, is where we are this week. It's represented by the color violet. It's located at the top of the head. It's the very top color. It's associated with a sense of unity amongst all beings, the connection to the divine, and, as David said, our higher consciousness and inner peace. Both the crown chakra and blessings emphasize spiritual awakening, universal love, compassion, peace, inner and interconnectedness amongst all beings. So, blessings carry or channel positive divine energy, clearing blockages and opening the crown chakra to deepen our spiritual connection, raise our consciousness deep, and improve, awaken that sense of unity with all beings, and love and compassion. Now we're going to go into an active meditation. In doing so, you're going to enter into a journey of actively blessing yourself. Let's begin the journey by warming up our hearts, by focusing attention in the area of the heart or chest area. Imagine your breath is flowing in through your heart and out through your heart, a little slower and deeper than usual. Breathing in, breathing out, a little slower and deeper than usual. At a rate that's comfortable for you, as long as your inhale and exhale are even in length, to create balance in your nervous system. Now make a sincere attempt to experience or feel in your heart a regenerative feeling such as appreciation or care or compassion for someone or something in your life. As you breathe that in through your heart and out through your heart for a minute. And as the journey continues, take these words into your heart. On awakening, bless this day, for it is already full of unseen good, which your blessings will call forth. For to bless is to acknowledge the unlimited good that is embedded in the very texture of the universe and awaiting each and all. On passing people in the street, on the bus, in the workplace, at play, bless them. The peace of your blessing will accompany them on their way, and its aura will be a light on their path. On meeting people and talking to them, bless them in their health, their work, their joy, their relationship to the universe, themselves and others. Bless them in their abundance and their finances. Bless them in every conceivable way. For such blessings not only sow seeds of healing, but one day will spring forth as flowers in the waste places of your own life. As you walk, bless the city in which you live, its government and teachers, its nurses and street sweepers, its children and bankers, its priests and prostitutes. The minute anyone expresses the least aggression or unkindness to you, respond with a blessing. Bless them totally, sincerely, joyfully, for such blessings are a shield that protect them from the ignorance of their misdeed and deflects the arrow that was aimed at you. To bless means to wish unconditionally, and from the deepest chambers of your heart, unrestricted good for others and events. It means to hallow, to hold in reverence, to behold with awe that which is always a gift from the Creator. He who is hallowed by your blessing is set aside, consecrated, holy, and whole. To bless is to invoke divine care upon, to speak or think gratefully for, to confer happiness upon, although we ourselves are never the bestower, but simply the joyful witness of life's abundance. To bless all without distinction is the ultimate form of giving, because those you bless will never know from whence came the sudden ray that burst through the clouds of their skies, and you will rarely be a witness to the sunlight in their lives. When something goes completely askew in your day, when some unexpected event upsets your plans and you also burst into blessing. For life is teaching you a lesson, and the very event you believe to be unwanted, you yourself called forth. To learn the lesson you might balk against, were you not to bless it. Trials are blessings in disguise, and hosts of angels follow in their paths. To bless is to acknowledge the omnipresent, universal beauty hidden from material eyes. It is to activate that law of attraction which, from the furthest reaches of the universe, will bring into your life exactly what you need to experience and enjoy. When you pass a hospital, bless its patients in their present wholeness, or even in their suffering. Their wholeness awaits discovery within them. When your eyes behold a man in tears or seemingly broken by life, bless him in his vitality and joy, for the material senses present, but the inverted image of the ultimate splendor and perfection that only the inner eye beholds. It is impossible to bless and judge at the same time. So hold constantly as a deep, hallowed, intoned thought the desire to bless. For truly then shall you become a peacemaker. And one day you shall behold everywhere the very face of God. And of course, above all, do not forget to bless the utterly beautiful person you are, the carrier of light. And now bless yourself in this moment, unconditionally, with compassion, with grace, with kindness, with love, and smile from your heart upon yourself. And when you are feeling helpless to create impact in your life and in the world, try blessing. It is as close as your own heart. And so it is. Namaste.